Have you ever noticed that some people walk into a room and instantly command respect without saying much at all? Nobody questions them. Nobody talks over them. Nobody dismisses what they say. Yet other people can be intelligent, kind, hardworking, and even successful. But somehow they are ignored, interrupted, underestimated, and treated as if their words carry no weight. If you've ever felt that frustration, this video is for you. Because the reason people don't take you seriously is probably not what you think. It isn't your appearance. It isn't your job title. It isn't your level of intelligence. In fact, the thing destroying your respect may be something you do every single day without even realizing it. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. Respect is not something you demand. It is not something you chase. It is not something you convince people to give you. Respect is something that naturally appears when your behavior sends a certain message. The problem is that many people spend their lives sending the exact opposite message. They explain too much. They apologize too much. They seek approval too much. They desperately want to be liked. And without meaning to, they communicate something dangerous. They communicate that they don't fully trust themselves. Think about the last time you made a decision. Did you simply make it? Or did you immediately feel the need to justify it to everyone around you? Did you explain why you chose it, why it made sense, why people shouldn't judge you for it? Most people do. They treat every choice like a courtroom defense. But Marcus Aurelius warned against this. He understood that confidence is often silent, while insecurity is constantly speaking. The more you feel compelled to explain yourself, the more people begin to wonder why you're explaining at all. Here's a harsh truth. People rarely take seriously those who constantly seek permission to exist. The person who is always checking whether everyone approves of them gradually loses authority in the eyes of others. Not because they are weak, but because they appear uncertain. And uncertainty spreads. If you don't seem convinced by your own decisions, why should anyone else be? Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people think respect comes from being nice. But respect and approval are not the same thing. In fact, chasing approval often destroys respect. The person who cannot say no, who always agrees, who never wants to disappoint anyone, often becomes invisible. People appreciate them, but they don't admire them. They use them, but they don't follow them. They like them, but they don't respect them. The Stoics believed that your highest duty was not to please others. It was to live according to reason and virtue. Imagine how different your life would look if every decision was based on what was right instead of what would gain approval. Suddenly, you stop trying to win every person over. Suddenly, you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Suddenly, you stop carrying the exhausting burden of everyone's opinion. And here's another reason people aren't taken seriously. They reveal everything. Every plan, every dream, every goal, every next move. The moment inspiration strikes, they rush to announce it. But there is a strange psychological effect that happens when you do this. People begin to associate you with talking rather than doing. Your words become entertainment instead of evidence. The ancient Stoics valued action above performance. They understood that results speak with a voice louder than any explanation ever could. Think about the people you respect most. Chances are they aren't constantly broadcasting their intentions. They simply move, they act, they build, they let reality do the talking. If you're enjoying this video so far, subscribe to Echoes of Thought and join thousands of like-minded people exploring ancient wisdom for modern problems. Most people spend their lives reacting to the world around them. This community is different. We study the timeless principles that help you stay calm, strong, and respected in a world that often rewards noise over substance. If that sounds like your kind of journey, make sure you're subscribed, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes of all: emotional overexposure. We live in a culture that encourages people to express every thought and every feeling the moment it appears. But the Stoics taught something different. They taught self-mastery. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means not becoming controlled by them. Because when every frustration becomes an outburst, and every disagreement becomes a dramatic reaction, people stop focusing on your message and start focusing on your behavior. Have you ever argued with someone and realized halfway through that they weren't even listening anymore? They weren't thinking about your point. They were thinking about your reaction. The louder you became, the weaker your argument appeared. This is why calmness is so powerful. Calmness signals control, and control signals strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Most people read those words and move on. Few understand how deeply practical they are. When you stop allowing every criticism, every insult, and every setback to throw you off balance, something changes. People notice. They may not say it out loud, but they notice. Because emotional stability is rare, and rare qualities command attention. Leave a comment below if you've ever felt underestimated or not taken seriously. I genuinely like to know your experience, because chances are many others watching this video have felt exactly the same way. Here's the final lesson. The reason people don't take you seriously is often because you've spent too much time trying to convince them to. The more desperately you seek respect, the further it moves away. Respect behaves almost like a shadow. Chase it and it escapes. Walk your own path and it follows. The Stoics understood that your reputation lives in the minds of other people, which means it can never be fully controlled. What can be controlled is your character, your discipline, your actions, your standards. And when those things become strong enough, something remarkable happens. You stop needing validation. You stop needing approval. You stop needing everyone to understand you. And paradoxically, that's often the moment people begin taking you seriously. Because the people who command the most respect are rarely the loudest people in the room. They are rarely the most aggressive. They are rarely the most desperate to prove themselves. They simply know who they are. They know what they stand for. And they refuse to abandon those principles just to fit in. So if you've been wondering why people don't take you seriously, don't start by changing them. Start by changing the signals you're sending. Speak less and do more. Stop over-explaining. Stop chasing approval. Stop announcing every move. Build quiet confidence. Develop self-control. Let your actions become your argument. Because in the end, respect is not earned through persuasion. It is earned through consistency. And when your words, actions, and character finally align, you'll discover something powerful. The people who once overlooked you will begin to see you differently. But by then, you may no longer need their approval at all. If this message resonated with you, leave a like and share your thoughts below. And remember, the Stoics didn't teach people how to impress others. They taught people how to master themselves. And that is where true respect begins.